I've always said, the British royal family is particularly terrible at their jobs. And the reason I say that is because, like, these are meant to be like the very top, the upper echelons of so called public servants. But fundamentally, essentially, at their core, these people do not understand community. They don't understand how people work. They do not understand how to build bonds and how to do public service in a way that's impactful and meaningful. And the epitome of that phenomenon is, without a doubt, Charles III. Like, this man's marriage to Diana fell apart because she was a lot more popular than him. And that couldn't be allowed to happen because he was the man who was one day going to be king. And here's where Charles's short-sightedness comes in, because, like, I genuinely believe, had Charles just let Diana be the superstar that she was, be the angel that she was, he would have over time become a lot more popular. He would have been, palatable to a lot of people. And how I look at it, right, is through the lens of a TV show, a Korean drama called Itaewon Class, where a man who is an incredibly good cook, and he's got all this big money with him that he, can start a restaurant, and he goes ahead and he starts a restaurant, and everybody like tastes the food. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. You are going to blow up very soon, right? But it doesn't happen. He actually fails with all this good food, with all this money, with all this support, with this amazing restaurant that he started. He fails. Nobody is even walking into his restaurant to taste all of this amazing food. It's just going to waste. And because he starts failing, he starts asking himself, why is no one even walking into my restaurant? Because that's the problem. They're not selling anything. And he walks out one day of his restaurant and he looks around and he immediately notices that there's no one in the street. And therefore, if there's no one in the street, there's not going to be foot traffic, for him into his restaurant. And the next question then becomes, then why did this man place this restaurant here where there's no foot traffic? Like, surely he had the basic business acumen to know that you don't do that. And it turns out that he did actually place this in a corner where there are a lot of businesses and there should be a lot of foot traffic. But here's what's been happening. Like, through factors that happen in South Korea, this area has become like a dead neighborhood, essentially, where people aren't going into the other businesses. And because people aren't going into the other businesses, there is no foot traffic for the restaurant. And what this man then does is that he tries to now start uplifting everybody else in his community, such that when people are shopping in all the other places, they get out, they think to themselves, oh my gosh, I'm actually really hungry. Let's go check out that restaurant. And it absolutely works. Like, his restaurant starts booming because everybody around him is also growing. Like, he's not the only one who's going up. Like, there's a saying, I'm sure, and I'm gonna butcher it, and I'm sorry about that, but something about how the tide raises all the ships. Like, you don't want to be the one captain who's riding the wave on your own or whatever. Like, I know I'm messing that up, right? But I'm sure you kind of get maybe the sentiment I'm trying to go for, where if everybody is going up, like if the wave is pulling everybody up, it's gonna pull you up too. It's not a zero-sum game. But that's not how the British royal family operates. They operate as a zero-sum game. Like, if this other person is popular, I can't be popular too. And here's where Charles comes in, because, like, again, if he'd allowed Diana to be the superstar that she was, that we know she would have been, this man would have been so popular. Because imagine all of Diana's politics, all of Diana's goodwill now attached to this man who at some point tried to even sell us the idea that he was concerned about the environment. Like, it would have seemed a lot more sincere when it came to a man that we thought was in love with his wife, whom we all loved. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, by association, to some degree, Charles could have been way more popular than his mother, because in cheating on Diana, he immediately made sure that he alienated an entire base of women, and how he treated Diana specifically, like, it resonated with a lot of people in the Commonwealth. So he alienated the female base, he alienated the Commonwealth base, and now he's married his mistress, right? And now he's chasing all of these moments of creating history. He hasn't earned any history. Like, his mother was the longest living monarch or whatever. I'm not going to Google that. But, like, she has all of these legacies attached to her. He has nothing. The only thing that stands Charles out is that he is the longest serving intern in the world. Like, 70 something years, this man was just waiting to be king. And now he's chasing all of these moments of history where he's traipsed off to the Vatican to go and say hi to the Pope, like the first English monarch in 500 years since Henry VIII. Like, it is so not smart. Also because of the association to Henry VIII. I could be wrong on this, right? And I know there's going to be a deranger or a British person somewhere in my comments correcting me. But I think Charles is like the first divorced monarch in 500 years. And now he's gone and resuscitated, resurrected that legacy, that attachment to Henry VIII. Like, I just, when I saw him with the Pope, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. The first thing that came to mind was like, oh, now he's linking himself even further to Henry VIII in this way. Like, this is not doing what he thinks it's doing. But you know, I'll get into a more detailed analysis on that later. But here's the thing that I really wanted to talk about, because like, this is a picture of Diana when she met the Pope. Like, and this is a picture of Camilla. Like, one of these things looks like a Disney villain. One of these things looks like a beloved princess. And Charles's short-sightedness, again, it's that man with the restaurant where if Charles had been the man in the Korean drama, he would have walked out and thought to himself, you know what? It sucks to be them. I'm here to be all about me. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he, in the same way that, like, you know, people voted against Hillary Clinton when they were voting for Trump, like they weren't voting for Trump. Charles was doing that nullifying thing where he's like, oh, I'm going to take away votes or popularity or likes from my spouse by marrying the worst person possible. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, this is a competition. This is a competition for this man. You cannot tell me that these two people love each other. This is just Charles trying to be more popular, trying to make more history, because nobody is going to look at this picture and think to themselves, oh my gosh, Camilla, what a fashion icon. Oh my gosh, Camilla, queen of my heart. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, nobody is looking at this picture and noting this woman in any positive way. Also because, like, I don't know, man, after everything y'all did to Diana, now you're at the Pope praying in this Cruella outfit, and the birds that had to die to give this outfit. I hope this is synthetic feathers. I hope something synthetic is going on, because like, it's so tragic. It really is so tragic. Like, as somebody who recognizes the need for fairy tales, the need for stories, the need for a little magic in the world, like the fact that we got Charles, and this is what Charles gave us. These people do not understand what makes people tick. These people do not understand what makes people tick. And it's because, like, it's because it doesn't matter what they do. They're just going to get the job. They don't have to earn anything. Like, that's the problem with this institution. Charles could have been the worst person on the planet and he was still going to get this job. And it's that element that makes it so, that makes them so inefficient. Because even his eldest son, he doesn't even need to do anything. He just needs to be born and the job is his. He just needs to be born first and the job is his. Like, that is so tragic. I'm sorry, but that is so tragic. And I don't know, man. I don't know what this man's legacy is going to be. I do not know what this man's legacy is going to be. But I'm glad that this is part of it, because this is just so tragic. This is so sad. But anyway, let me go get food.